Mr. Miller, why don't you tell us a little bit about what prompted you to get started with the rose float at the Cal Poly Hornies games?
Well, it was the summer of '48, and I was working for Jolly Bachelor up in the OH department. We were a small college, as I said, about 512 students, and we were trying to get ourselves known. And I've always lived in Pasadena. I was born in there, and I decided, well, why don't we try and put a float in the Rose Parade? So I talked to Jolly. He thought I was nuts, and but he went along with it. And I believe he talked to Harold Wilson, and Wilson said, go ahead, let him hang himself. And so we started designing a float. We were going to grow our own flowers. Of course, from September to January 1st, you really can't get a crop. So what we did start and did grow didn't come out. We borrowed flowers from different people. We stripped the campus of every flower that was on the campus. And we did get some flowers from a grower that by the name of Tom Endo. And he said, well, after I take my cuttings, go in and you can have whatever's in the field. We did. We took the truck out there. We loaded the truck with everything we could get. I don't think there was a leaf left or a flower left on his whole property. And we had a total budget of about $246, which we went over budget. And we got bailed out by some people in Long Beach. They paid our overage. But we did make it down through the parade.
You're standing next to a replica of the first horse that was on the first float. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Is this identical? Is it a little bit different? Or this is basically chicken wire and newspaper roll?
Ours was chicken wire and plaster Paris. And we were, I think, all of the people on the Rose Float Committee were pure white from the plaster Paris, but and it was heavy, very heavy. And our animation was strictly by hand. Hal Roach was driving the float, and he would rock it with his hand, and that would make the horse go back and forth. And we had Quinn Kennard's 2 kids and Jolly Bachelor's 2 kids on the 4 corners, and another child up in the riding the horse. And it was just about the same size as our horse. I think this is a little bit better than the one we built, but we learned a lot that year, and but I'll tell you, I'm never so proud as when that horse went down that line of march. It was, I think I slept for 2 days afterwards. It was a great feeling to see something actually that you had dreamed about and actually materialize and go down that line. It was a great experience.
You were telling us earlier how you learned some things from the different floats. I think it was the 3rd year you put some sod on the float, was that right?
It was the 2nd or 3rd year. We had the barn dance, and we had underneath the dancers, we had sod. And it looked very nice. The only trouble was it rained the night before, and the sod just absorbed all of that moisture. And that poured, I don't know how it made it down the line of march, because it was just the heaviest float, I think, in the whole parade. But yeah, we learned.
Yeah, these are the flowers that we grow in the field for our 97 or our 98 float, which is a countryside joyride, and we're drying them right now.
Well, I wish we'd had something like that. We didn't have any dried flowers at all. In fact, I don't think there was a house in San Dimas that had a flower in its front yard. So we appropriated all of our flowers. But that's great to have these. So you grew these last year?
This year, and we're growing them right now also in the field.
Then you're going to dry them.
Yeah. The status is we're being dried right now.
Are you growing all your flowers now?
No. Only have probably a quarter of them.
Only a quarter?
Yeah.
And you buy the rest of them on the market?
Yes.
Well, it's a lot easier than what we did. But of course yours is a lot more complicated than what we had.
Yeah. But we still find flower bushes around them.
I don't know how true that is.
Well, it says, the award-winning Pasadena Tournament of Roses Parade trophy pictures displayed on these walls represent the accomplishments of all past Rose Float students, alumni, faculty, staff, and friends who gave so unselfishly of their time, talents, and resources to this exceptional project. A special tribute goes to alumnus Don E. Miller, who had the wisdom, foresight, and courage to first secure an invitation for Cal Poly's float entry into the January 1st, 1949 Rose Parade. As a result of his own endeavors, Don Miller became the Charter Student Rose Float Chairman of the years 1949, 1950, and 1951. And in honor of that, we call this the Don E. Miller Rose Float Award.
Very nice.
I'm glad you're able to see it. Too bad the kids couldn't come.
And here's our first one. That's amazing. I think that's Chip right there. And Beth. And then Kennard's kids. I thought we had them on all four corners, but I guess we didn't. This was number 2. He stepped on the hand right there. The horse got, Mrs. Bertrand stepped on this gentleman's hand just before the parade. I thought it was the foot, but it's the hand. He almost didn't make it.
Where's that coach today?
This is up at, well, it used to be called the Chuck Wagon. I don't know what it's called now. It's up on Foothill Boulevard in San Dimas. Doesn't have any flowers on it. The wagon's still there. I don't know where we got the wagon from. It probably came from the Kellogg unit.
That would have been 1950. We'll take a look at 51. Michael Walker is going to be our student poster tonight. I know. He's here. Just that I get the two of them chatting briefly. This would have been 51?
51, I guess. 51. That was the barn dance.
Yeah, is that the one? Were you on the float on that one?
I was under one of these turning them. Our animation was all manual. We turned each couple. They were on a circle, and we turned each one by hand. It's a little different now. It's yeah, that was the 51 College barn dance.
Good. Richard, what's the chance of getting